Hey you guys, it's MJ. I've already gone live this morning, but I'm feeling pretty inspired. Pardon me, I'm just getting the cord fixed. I'm feeling kind of inspired to talk a little bit more about spiritual awakening, law of attraction, climate change, and how all of these themes are relevant to the global paradigm shift. And I guess I'd like to just explain how it all connects together. So we have a prevalence, a continuing prevalence in our collective around spiritual awakening. So this is something, hey Fifth World, how are you? So this is something that, back in the day, spiritual people were just weird, dirty hippies, or, we had a much more ostracized perception of psychics or spiritual people and yoga types. Like even God 15 years ago or whatever, when I started the yoga journey, people were like, is yoga a cult? Like, what is it? And now you could say it's pretty much mainstream and trendy. Similarly, the vegan movement or the zero waste stuff. So these things that used to be sort of ostracized, hey guys, ostracized and kind of pushed out of our mainstream culture, these things are starting to become more mainstream. So things like spiritual awakening, it's like a thing, right? Where like there's no way when I was going through this stuff that I was able to even slam a label on what happened to me. It was just my life. It was just my human experience, right? And yet 17 years on, you could be like, "Oh, that experience is now actually defined. That experience is actually called something." And of course, you guys know I don't like labels because I'm aware of how we could potentially we can limit ourselves with labels basically, right, you guys? Hey, you guys, Lucid Vertigo, my internet friends whom I love so dearly. Hey, Tech Victor, how are you guys? Mike, is my Sky here? Hi, my Sky. Hi, Mike. How are you? Hey. So, spiritual awakening to me is a lot to do with the heart. So, spiritual, yeah, me too. I'm gonna be chilling after this. I'm looking at some different projects right now. So, anywho, and obviously I'm outlining and filling in my All to Vegan Love course. Okay, so we have these spiritual awakenings, which the fact that we're defining it and that things like yoga, meditation, and stuff are becoming actually relevant and mainstream. This is huge when it comes to paradigm shift. Okay, so it's like I just know fully in my intuition, my knowing that like it's not like the paradigm shift is starting. It's well and fully in true swing. I'm good, MJ. This is my second channel. Oh hey, okay, Mike, you've got Lucid Vertigo as well as my Sky. Brilliant. Thank you for your videos as well. I've been enjoying some of the Sky watches. Okay, so we have spiritual awakening, which means there's a shift in perspective, and from the perspective of global paradigm and certainly all to love, this shift in perspective that you have is something, it's like a heart activation. It's like seeing a whole bunch of darkness or seeing a whole bunch of like corruption and disparity and oppression and like feeling the pain and then being like, I can't go back to how I used to be because now I'm aware of this, right? So that's a tenet or an aspect of spiritual awakening. But of course we have, thank you, my Fifth World. Of course we have so many different ways of describing this stuff. People talk about Kundalini activation. People talk about spontaneous Kundalini awakening. People, it's just coming, people come at this stuff from so many different angles, which is why I suppose some of us are guided to share because our unique perspective has a placement in everything, right? Oh, no way! Yeah, an actual paragliding festival. Where is that? If I don't get to go, I will definitely let my paragliding friends know about it if they're not going already, right? So, law of attraction. Now, the reason I wanted to insert law of attraction was because I randomly scanned through and saw a post by one of those guys who's in that Secret movie. His name's Proctor, Bob Proctor. And I don't actually like res specifically with his teachings, but he is one of those people, one of those teachers from The Secret. And I believe it was a video called The Law of Vibration. And then this is what triggered, like, okay, so we have the spiritual awakening, which is the sudden, like, oh, whoa, there's like crazy shit, and I'm not just a robot, and I'm like alive and aware and awake. And so a huge piece to me of spiritual awakening is also tapping empathy. It's that you can't deny the oneness. You can't deny the fact, like, and that was something my mom knew from since I was a little girl, was that I had massive empathy for like the homeless people, roadkill. You know, mom saw my reactions and my kind of sensitivity and was like, oh, she's one of us. She's gonna have a hard time in this world, which is accurate, actually. And so often when we have these spiritual awakenings and or life ain't going too good, there's a lot of suffering, at some point in our journey we either find a spiritual practice, right, like yoga, meditation, tai chi, the list goes on and on and on, right, which is going to help us get clear, because the clarity from within is a huge part, I would say, of why spiritual awakening happens to us. Is that, one, we do have a purpose and a mission. Two, the yoga, meditation, and or energy disciplines help us to discipline our energy so that we can become the channel, right? Because without all of those years of meditation and yoga, there's no way that I'd be able to effectively communicate these insights with you. So that's been all part of the journey to get me to this point of sharing what this paradigm shift is, how it feels most importantly, but then potentially how things are going to start to look as well. Oh, that's lovely. That is beautiful. It felt natural. Do share more if you want to. That sounds fascinating to me. You've been on a journey as well, as we all have, right? Hence why we have an internet, is because there's still a freedom break phase, and there's still a lot of isolation as well. So I'm here for you guys, and I'm reflecting back, like, I'm just an introvert, and after years and years and years of having this alienation, I'm really dropped into the okayness of isolation, and yet at the same time I'm so here for you, as far as you're not alone in your isolation either. This is all part of the paradigm shift, is squeezing us off from one another until we realize we need each other in a very loving way, right? Okay, so the law of attraction is us making a quantum leap in as far as the understanding. So instead of looking at the world through this separate lens, in like just meat and flesh and bone, and human are stupid in separation and need to dominate the planet, law of attraction is ultimately teaching us that we are it, that everything we see we have created from within our vortexual reality. Now, it's wonderful to hook into those teachings, but the depth of what this actually means is what's like boom, boom, hitting us like waves in the human collective energy field, because this is a quantum leap. And the way I see it in our human history is that we've had revolutions. So revolutionary activity is just part of a human evolutionary cycle. And the only difference, I feel that, Tech Victor, I believe into that. Rather, I feel into that, as far as it is a chosen human experience to go to the edge of darkness and then come back into the light. That's just the awakening journey. That's the infinity loop of eternity via the finite existence. I was having a download yesterday. I'm like, we die. Why on earth do we get attached to anything when we just like, hey, like leave these bodies? It just doesn't make any sense, right? So we are coming into greater understanding of who we are and what we are. And then through that understanding, we can more directly and functionally actually like pioneer that higher level of understanding. So what I was saying was, like, individually we have these revolutions, right? So this history, we fractalize, we split ourselves apart, we go to the edge of darkness, like we literally go to the edge of separation, and then here we are, we're starting to move our way back into that unified field. And that is, this traversing back into the unified field is ultimately what the paradigm shift is about. It's like reversing that thinking, so that law of attraction, we start to embody that, as i.e. we start to embody the field of the quanti. We start to embody the vibrational energy field that we are from within, and start projecting that outward continuous, right? And obviously you can imagine if we are the creators of the world that we see, then this climate change story is a big trigger point for people. So what we're doing to the planet, and as far as the destruction of the planet, is actually part of the suffering of humanity that's going to awaken the biggest and the greatest pockets of humanity. Hey, you guys are having a chat. So spiritual awakening, law of attraction, climate change, these are all trigger stimulus for the greater paradigm shift that we're in, right? And hence why we share, why we talk. All of us, for the most part, have these YouTube channels in such a way because we all have a different function to express and to share, which is all helping the next wave and the next wave and the next wave, like, come to their function as well, awaken to their truth. And the beauty here is that the truth is awesome, like the truth from within the self. The truth shall set you free, thine is the kingdom. Like, I'm like, holy Kawanza, you guys. I'm like, these teachings are so profound and beautiful from within. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I just want to read some of your guys's. I feel like we're in God's. Glory to God. Oh my goodness, fifth world. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just had like such a beautiful moment. Like just then, I literally finished reading like you have entered heaven, welcome home. I totally because I've been getting those same sort of messages of like we've arrived. We've shed. We know what we're doing. We can just keep shedding the darkness and keep stepping into the light. I'm so with you. And the last few days have been so intense. And then we're just continuing to yoke this and stay in that light. And then well, something else was there. But I'm just, yeah, and we're just changing the narrative, and we're fully in this. We vibrate it, right? And I guess that's what I'm feeling, is that it's just, we just keep going, but we are here. We made it. We made it to the heaven spot. And yeah, thanks for sharing that, April. Mega appreciation. Sorry, you guys. I want to, funny with the handles. I do love YouTube for that, but then also I'm like lucid dreamer. I didn't know that you were my sky. I'm glad that I know your mic now. Fifth world is April, but fifth world, were you a different name? Because I feel like I've met another April as well. Just all of you super lovely, benevolent sharers. I'm randomly getting this about the online courses for All to Love, and I just want to ask you guys like a biz question, basically. So you guys know, like, all of this is intuitively guided, obvi, and I've been guided for the price point of the online courses is 144 because, well, there's something about 144 in this whole awakening thing. And so, yeah, 144. But then I'm just aware of what I'm aware of and wanting to share the information and still bring in cash for All to Love. And I'm wondering if you guys would find it useful to be able to buy just 1 week. Because I've had people ask me about a couple of the interviews, and it's almost like if you just want to buy the interview, you can buy just one. So I would do something like, you could buy 1 week for £22, and then you could just buy the 1 week, or you could buy the whole course over a few weeks. I'm just putting that out there because, well, not like loads of you, but there's a couple of you who are like, are you gonna release that interview with Sasha Stone? And I'm like, mwaha! That's me, my cheeky sales tactics. I'm like, oh no, you have to buy the course to watch the whole interview. But like, this is just my truly like benevolent and giving heart. I'm like, I really just want to give it away for free, you guys. And yet I'm working with those energies. I'm like, well, how is that gonna work then, darling? Responsible creator. So let me know, or email me if you guys have like cool ideas about how to share more of the message and bring in the flow of abundance to keep the resources flowing. I'm really open to help at this point because I'm I'm so who I am that I don't know how to be any way else. But I feel like you guys vibe me pretty powerful, and that you feel the love hot vibrashe. So yeah, I'm extending that out. Do you have any way of helping or sharing more? And or if you're wanting to buy just 1 week, let me know, message me, and I'll set you up, all right? You guys, I think that is all. Isn't it funny with these shares? Because like I often come to share where I'm like, ugh! Keep trusting and looking at your work. I'm gonna make prints and... Okay, cool. I tried the Patreon account. I find it starts to get, so with social media, in where I am and where I'm at, it starts to, I had a Patreon account, I had a Tumblr account, I had and a Pinterest and all of them, and I found it just all, at one point, it was just all too much, like just doing everything and too much and trying to cater to everyone. And so I've tried to keep it really like just the YouTube channel, go to the website. And so I'm asking more of like, there's these online courses, they're 144 pounds. And clearly who the people buying them can afford that. But I'm aware that even 144 pounds is actually like a lot of money for some people. And because of your guys' request to see some of the material, I'm like, well, would it be useful to buy just the 1 week and have access to, say, week 3, where you can watch the interview and you could watch and follow along with a yoga video for 3 weeks or 5 weeks, and then you might go, oh yeah, actually I want to buy week 6, or I want to learn about, because week 6 is cosmic origins, right? And so some of you might have a specific interest in cosmic origins and learning about how to trace that, right? So I'm just sitting, you guys know how I roll. It's just pure honesty and yeah, transparency, and nothing but love, really. Love and like grit and strength as well. I would say there is definitely some strength here. So anyway, you guys, hey Nestor, I gotta say, I just love it when you pop in there. 137.11. Yeah, so that's it for me, you guys. I appreciate you. I'm super thankful. I'm really thankful for your presence. I'm thankful for your support. And I look forward to sharing more. And I look forward to just seeing that heaven, you know? I look forward to living in heaven hot bliss. I mean, who doesn't? That's the whole point of all this separation suffering, isn't it? Just so we can like... and bring ourselves back into the hot love vibration. Ooh, yeah. Oh, Beth. Oh my gosh. You guys and your emoji love, the diamonds and the blue hearts and the red flowers. I just feel so full of laugh. I'm really thankful for you guys, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you really soon. And yeah, just that's it. I think keep the love flowing. Stay committed to yourself, and trust that when you're in the shits of life, that the shits are trying to teach you something, and that you just clean that up after. It's no big deal. I love you.